I'll start with you, Zach. What's the biggest obstacle for the Nets' title chances next season? Whoa. Back up, dude. Back up in the camera.
I agree with ESPN. I agree with Vegas. The Nets are overwhelming favorites to win the title. We've seen what their big three can do when they're all together. They're completely unguardable. In the playoffs, they defended well enough to win a championship. I think they got better in the offseason. As far as their obstacles, I think it goes like this. Health is number one. That's for everybody, but if one of those guys gets hurt, we saw it last year, 2 of them got hurt, it's a game changer. And then the Lakers and the Bucks are both really, really good. If they coalesce earlier or better or on a deeper level than we expect, could they upset the Nets? Absolutely. You're talking about LeBron James and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, and then Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Giannis. 2 big threes, one just won the title. But to me, if the Nets are healthy, I will be surprised if they don't win the title.
That's just bad. Overwhelming, Zach, overwhelming. And then you talk about the big three. The sample size that we got of the big three is the same size as you, and that's small. We didn't get a chance to see them over a long period of time to see if they could actually make it work for over 20-plus games. And on top of that, we know LeBron James is going to come back on a different level. Russell Westbrook really has the most to prove in the NBA. Anthony Davis, he's not feeling, I said this time and time again, he's not feeling all this Giannis getting these props and things to that nature. So Anthony Davis is going to come back on a mission as well. You got Carmelo Anthony, who has a chip on their shoulder. We just talked about this on this show, about their wisdom. We talked about their veteran leadership in a 7-game series, what is going to help them get through. And Carmelo Anthony talked about it. They got more wisdom. They got a better IQ, along with having talent. And all those Hall of Famers, the Lakers are going to win the championship.
Now look, Per, I'm with you. I get it. Players don't like it. There's a competitiveness about all of us. And look, Anthony Davis is an NBA champion. There is no disrespect. But when you start saying Anthony Davis ain't really feeling all these accolades that Giannis is getting, well, then do something about it. That's at the end of the day.
That's
do
what
something.
I'm telling you.
Well, you gonna tell me you're gonna do something? Well, don't tell me what you're gonna do. Show me what you're gonna do in this moment right here, because Giannis has earned every single thing. Back-to-back MVP, defense. I understand that, but then I'm just not gonna just let you just say that Anthony Davis is going to raise his game because somebody else is getting the awards that he wants. Well, Giannis is outplaying him in every single situation, so he shouldn't be upset about it.
First of all, Richard, watch your tone. That's first thing first. I told you, every time you throw on the tie, you start feeling yourself. Second of all, I never once said nothing about Giannis awards. I said all the recognition that he's getting from the media. Recognition meaning his props. People saying how he's better than AD. That's different from him deserving of awards. I didn't say he didn't deserve the awards. Is Giannis
better than AD?
Relax. I'm not going down that road. All I'm telling you is this. Anthony Davis, we witnessed him 2 years ago when healthy. Witnessed him. We were sitting up here talking about him arguably being the best player in the NBA. We know he's more skilled than Giannis. We know he has the capability to do the same exact thing that Giannis does on the defensive side of things. And Anthony Davis is only a year older than Giannis Antetokounmpo. So at the end of the day, all I'm saying is when we talk about the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm saying that Anthony Davis is going to be the deciding factor because he's going to come back with a chip on his shoulder. That's what I'm telling you, Richard.
Okay, all right. I gotta address Perk like the numbers on a house or whatever the Perkism about addressing people is.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
If the sample size for the net. If the Nets sample size for the Nets big three is small like me, by the way, I'm 5'11 3/4 and I round up to 6 feet. I'm not that small. The sample size for the Lakers big three is 0. We have seen them play 0 minutes together. So if you're going to throw the sample size argument at me, I'm throwing it right back at you. Now, I will give you this. Kyrie, Durant, Harden have more injury questions about them than I think Russ, LeBron, and AD do. Particularly that Harden hamstring thing scares me a little bit, given that he's now on the wrong age of 30 with a lot of minutes under his belt. But I don't think the gap is as big as it would have been a couple years ago. We're talking about, you can ascribe it to flukes and Solomon Hill diving into his ankle or whatever, but we're talking 2 of the last 3 years LeBron has gotten derailed by injury. AD's been mostly healthy the last few years until the playoffs last year, but he's had some injury issues. Russ has had a bunch of knee issues. I just don't think the injury questions apply only to Brooklyn. I think they apply to everybody, including the Lakers.
Well, look,
Zach, you're lucky we have to go to break because I was about to read you your rights.
Well, look, at the end of the day, Zach, I'm glad you're here. It's good to have one adult on this panel. Rick Perkins, great to have one of you here.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here. Perks in the background. I got my Vans going. I saw your walkout. RJ knows what he's doing, y'all. He's getting better game by game. That's all you can ask for.
That's
your coach.
You got to
at least he's getting better at his walkout because that tie is not matching that suit. But carry on.
Yeah, see, he wants to crack jokes knowing that he just had to put on his jacket because with that pink shirt, I said he looked like a gallon of pink lemonade. But let's get started. We're going to look ahead to next season. According to our ESPN summer forecast, voters are expecting Kevin Durant to be the MVP for next season. Giannis, Luka, Embiid, and Harden round out the top 5. So, Perk, if you had to choose an MVP right now for next season, who would it be?
Well, it wouldn't be Kevin Durant. It wouldn't be LeBron James. It wouldn't be Russell Westbrook. It wouldn't be Anthony Davis. It would not be Kyrie Irving. It would not be James Harden.
Actually, who it would be?
If you have a big 3 on your team, you cannot win the MVP award. It's too hard. So I'm going with Joel Embiid, right? We don't know what's going to happen with Ben Simmons, but the way that Joel Embiid finished second last year in the MVP voting, this year he's going to come back on a better mission. I heard he's in great shape. He signed a big contract extension, meaning he's fully committed to the organization and he wants to win. He could average 30 and 10 in this league. Philly will be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference, and it will be led by him, and he will host up the MVP Trophy Award this season.
I think what he's getting to by saying that it's not going to be this person, it's not going to be that person, is that it's going to be not KD, but I'm taking the field, RJ. Okay. I think KD makes sense at the top. He's not even the Vegas favorite, by the way. I think he makes sense at the top, but there's just too many other good players. You look at the last 3 people that have won MVP alone, this league is top loaded with a lot of talent. Giannis is one person that comes to mind. Obviously, the 3 that round out the top 5 are there. Even a guy like Joker in Denver, you just never know. There's too many players up top that I think just are available to have great years, and we've seen that in the last 5 seasons in the NBA, and that's why this is going to be such a great year, is that KD might be at the top, but there's not some long distance between all the other guys that round out the top 5, never mind even the top 10.
Well, let me say this. I hate to be that guy, and everyone knows that that's not true. I don't mind being that guy, but how can we have 2 Nets in the top 5 and no one on the Lakers? LeBron James, maybe that guy. Anybody ever heard of him? Even Anthony Davis is a guy that is every single year has an opportunity to win Defensive Player of the Year. Clinton, you don't find that weird at all that there is no Laker even in there when you got 2 Nets?
Not really. I mean, I think that the Lakers are in a situation where they've got to play a different type of basketball. I mean, if AD can get to MVP level, then the Lakers are title level. That's a different discussion than whether or not he's by default going into the season going to be that kind of a player. LeBron is obviously always in the discussion in terms of the impact player he can be, but I'm not sure that I look at him as an automatic MVP candidate in a season like this with so many good players across the board.
Well, see, what we got to ask ourselves is who makes up the ESPN summer forecast on ESPN.com?
Excellent question.
Like,
I wasn't on the list.
People makes this up. That's why we got to figure out who are those people, because a lot of those people who are putting out these MVP rankings, a lot of them are not fans of LeBron James and especially Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis due to, they want to say, how he's injury prone. And I get that, right? So I don't know how to answer this question because, you know, it's these hidden sources behind this summer forecast on ESPN.com, and they scared to put their name behind it. So I really don't know how to answer that question, RJ.
Oh, okay, good. Then don't answer the question. Look, we're going to stick with the summer forecast results. Voters went with number 2 pick Jalen Green for Rookie of the Year over number 1 overall pick Cade Cunningham. Clinton, is it fair to go with Green over Cunningham for Rookie of the Year?
I think it's fair, but it's just not what I would do. I mean, to me, when you looked at this draft class this year, the reason why Cade Cunningham was the guy that went overall number 1 is because he was most ready to walk into the league and play right now. Whether or not that's going to be somebody that's a superstar, or whether Whether or not that's going to be somebody that fills up the highlight reel, I don't know. But from an opportunity to play standpoint, and I realize that the Pistons squad is a different makeup than the Rockets, and that leads to some challenges. But for me, he's the most ready to play in the NBA. And therefore, if he's going to improve on what he is, Cade Cunningham, that is, he's already ahead. Because it's not a situation where you're looking at a guy who's necessarily going to make a huge leap, in terms of what he's going to be in order what he needs to be an NBA player. I think Cade is the guy right now.
Why are you tilting your head like that, Perk?
Because I know that y'all get the COVID test before walking in the studio, but do y'all get drug tested? Jalen Green is going to be the clear-cut rookie of the year, and it's not even close. We're talking about a guy that went to the G League last year and averaged 19 points per game. And by the way, his last playoff game in the G League, he had a 30-piece wing dinner, spicy, or should I say thigh dinner. This guy is NBA ready at the max, okay? Detroit was willing to take him number one. The only reason I felt like Detroit didn't take him number one was for the simple fact of everybody in the world was saying that Cade needed to go number one because it was the safest for the Detroit Pistons. But at the end of the day, when you talk about a guy that's a walking bucket who could come into this league and average 20, if you average 19 in the G League, you definitely could average 20 to 22 points in the NBA.
To be clear, I don't think this is some distant situation at all.
You don't have to clear.
There's two guys that are both tremendous in what they do. I just happen to think Cade is a guy with an advantage. Personally.
You don't have to clear it up, and let me tell you why. Right? Cade Cunningham is the better basketball player currently right now. So if you drop him in a place, he can get you 20. And he can get you 7, he can get you 5. He will impact the game in a variety of ways. Right. Now, is he the best scorer? No, that's Jalen Green. But if you're looking to win, impact a team, and we look at LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball wasn't the best scorer last year, but the impact that he had creating for others, understanding gameplay, making it fun for his teammates, being a superstar that makes other people around him better. And that's not saying that Jalen Green won't get there, but Cade Cunningham is there right now, and Perk has something to say.
I absolutely do. And another reason that LaMelo Ball won a lot of people over is for the simple fact of his flashiness, right? His flash, his ability to throw those Magic Johnson type passes. He's must-see TV because of the excitement that he brings to the game. When you look at Cade Cunningham, I love him as a basketball player, but his game is not exciting to watch. Jalen Green is exciting to watch, and I think that had also a lot to do with LaMelo Ball winning the Rookie of the Year.
Well, yeah, but I'll give him that point, actually. I'll give him that point. I will vote for a flashy guy. I think that has a lot to do, especially in the NBA, with how guys win awards. I will concede that point.
But Clinton, this is the end of the day. There was substance behind the flash.
Yes.
Don't forget that. And we're going to talk about one more award. Last season, Rudy Gobert won the Defensive Player of the Year for the 3rd time. The ESPN forecast is predicting that he will win it again for the 4th time, which would put him in some elite company. The only other players to win Defensive Player of the Year 4 times is Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace, both Hall of Famers. Now, Perk, unfortunately, we're going to start with you. Are you going to go with Gobert or the Field for Defensive Player of the Year?
I'm going with the Field. Matter of fact, I didn't think he should have won it this year, in my opinion. And here's why. We just get caught up in analytics too much instead of the eye test. When you look at a guy like Anthony Davis, when you look at a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo, they are able to do more. And last year in the playoffs, the Clippers exposed Rudy Gobert. He was cooked meat. Barbecue chicken. Patrick Beverly was tearing them up. They basically had to bench him. So when I'm looking at this year, Anthony Davis has been looking in phenomenal shape. He has made it public that he wants to win Defensive Player of the Year. I'm looking at Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's only going to continue to get better on the defensive side of things, and the impact that he had in the finals, I feel like he's only going to gain even more confidence, which is scary. So those are my top 2 candidates for the the Defensive Player of the Year award. I
think some of the criticism about Gobert is a little bit unfair. It does feel like he was sort of the default winner sometimes last year, but I do think also that, there are a lot of guys that can win this. But the conversation here about legacy Twitter, RJ, is something I want. I mean, if he wins one more, is he definitively in the Hall? It's one of those things where, like, I don't know if I would walk around calling
He's
Rudy
already
Gobert.
in the Hall.
Okay, listen to me. I'm saying I don't know if I'm going to walk around calling people, telling folks that's Hall of Famer Rudy Gobert. But when he gets in, I'll absolutely believe that he deserves to get in. But right now, it's a little.
Look, okay, this is my issue with criticizing Gobert. When you watch the Utah Jazz play, they have their entire defense is based off of that individual. And then you have an amazing defensive team, and they were the #1 team all year. I think last year was one of Rudy Gobert's best. Now, yes, he was exposed in the postseason, but a lot of that became the Clippers were knocking down threes at a historic pace that they hadn't done, even without, Kawhi Leonard. So lots of guys stepped up. I like Rudy Gobert to win Defensive Player of the Year because, yes, you have different guys. You have the versatile guys like a Ben Simmons that can guard 1 through 5. You have the guys like Anthony Davis that are just so talented, so skilled, can take up space, can guard everywhere. And then you have Rudy Gobert where the entire defense is predicated around sending everything to him, and that's where his value is. So the top 3 guys all have different values. So I think it all goes on which team plays the best.
I love the fact that he challenges guys at the rim. You know what I'm saying? He is not afraid to do that, even if he gets banged on every once in a while, Perk.
Yeah, not every big man can do that, Perk.
You know what? It's a damn shame that RJ played the game and he's really tricked like that. I mean, look, Rudy Gobert is 8'6". He's standing under the basket. He better be able to protect the basket. That's not hard. Show me something new. Show me that you're able to switch out on pick and rolls and actually slide your puppies and guard people. The Utah Jazz system is just putting him in position so that they could be able to keep him on the court. He better be able to block shots. He's 8'6". You're another one that's getting fooled.
No one's getting.
Baby, that's it.
It was Dennis Schroeder's birthday yesterday, and he took to IG to say, insert your best fumble the bag joke here. And he got a lot of responses. Now, Clinton, do you think that this will get people to take it a little easy on him?
No, not only did he fumble the bag, he found himself on a team that's not as good. That's mainly what this is about. You made choices that were obvious because the numbers were all reported. We hope you're happy, but let's not act like a couple of sports cars are the difference between $80 million and 5. That's just not real.
Yeah, he thought coming out there and stunting and showing his cars was going to take the pressure off him or whatever the case may be. No, you turned down $84 million. That will forever be talked about, not unless he signed another large contract around the same amount or even larger. So, no, the heat is always going to be there.
I like that. It said, honestly, I hope somebody makes fun of me for making $5 million a year. Thanks, CJ. Miss the strike zone. The newest members of the Chicago Bulls, threw out the first pitch at the White Sox game last night. Perk, why aren't NBA players better at throwing out first pitches?
Well, as a guy that played pitcher, in middle school, listen, it's hard when you get to a major league mound. You don't really know the distance, right? And so when they get there, they like, oh, I got to throw that far, so you got to handicap them. That's just like a baseball player trying to shoot a free throw. They don't know how hard it is until they actually get on the basketball court.
As the baseball guy here, listen, it's 60 feet, 6 inches, Perk. You can log that one in your brain. It's never changing. But the fact is that it's hard, okay? It's not easy to throw a baseball, which should tell you something about how difficult that sport is overall. It's not free like a free throw.
It's not as hard as basketball, but make ease. Here's Russ throwing down an effortless windmill at an open run. Clinton, do you think that the New York Fashion Week might have re-energized them? Whoa.
Let me ask you this, RJ. Can you throw down a better windmill than that right now?
No, I'm 41 years old, I think.
Okay.
No.
Just making sure we're clear.
I mean, but you work out every day. You always showing videos of your yoga and everything. I would think you could still windmill. But look, this is Russ. This is going to be Russ till he's 40. Mm-hmm. He's the most athletic point guard to ever play the game. And to Russ, that wasn't a windmill. That was a little baby ceiling fan, even though it was full extension. But that's not a great windmill to Russ.
Quality cinematography on the IG work, too.
Yes.
Good job out of you.
Russ has some amazing dunks, and it's time to run it back to Russ's most athletic dunks ever. First up, it's an honorable mention from 2010 because he got fouled, but look at the elevation.
This is going to be a problem.
Ooh.
This is going to be a problem. He got fouled by 2 dudes in order to make that dunk stop happening.
All right, number 5, 2011. Russ all alone and finishes with a windmill.
That's 10 out of 10 right there. You're the windmill expert, RJ.
Yeah, look, I love a lone windmill. You know why I liked windmills? Because if you did windmills, you knew you were going to be on the top 10. And number 4 in 2015, again on the break, and this time he throws it down reverse.
I remember that game, man. I think I had 12 and 10 that game. I remember that game. Like
reverse dunks are lost art, y'all. I need more reverse dunks in the leg.
Yeah, and number 3, 2017, he drives and hangs and throws it down over Thon Maker. Whose baby is that? Somebody get that baby out the street. Oh.
He got that little extra hang, too, that you're allowed. That gives you a little more contact on the back end where he said, feel me, player.
Number 2, 2012, KD Russ, alley-oop versus the Kings. We got a Kings highlight, kind of.
And who said that Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook couldn't play together?
Look at
everyone.
All is. And he brought that thing through with authority.
And number 1, 2015, catches the lob. And now wait for the replay. Wait. This man hits his head on the backboard.
Yo, I forgot about that.
There's very few of us that have ever done that.
I completely forgot about that.
You're not one of them.
That's not true. That's not true. You grew up, you had YouTube, you just Google it. Perk, you got nothing to say? All right, well, okay, Perk doesn't have anything to say. Let's talk more about Russell Westbrook. The 32-year-old Laker point guard is entering his 4th season and is playing on his 4th team in 4 years. After his low start last year with the Wizards, Russ ended up averaging a career high in both rebounds and assists. Now look, take a look. Russell Westbrook has averaged a triple-double in 4 of the last 5 seasons. We don't know what offense Frank Vogel is going to roll out, but here, this is, Perk. Listen to me. I'll start with you. Is he going to be able to average a triple-double this year?
Absolutely not. And I don't care. I don't think he cares if he does average a triple-double or not. Because, look, you just have too much star power. You know LeBron is going to go out there and give you his 20-plus 7 and 7. Anthony Davis is going to go get 10 to 12 rebounds. You got Dwight Howard, who's boarding. We hear Carmelo yelling when he goes up and get a rebound. So I don't think Russ even cares, but I do think he's going to average a double-double. I think he's going to average about 18 points and 10 assists. I think he's going to do that. But I do have a question to Clint.
Yes.
So before he gets on the Russell Westbrook point, I just wanted to know, why does he has an unsharpened pencil? To
make sure you're paying attention. Listen, this is a whole discussion we had in the back. I was using this as my beta testing to see if I was going to take this on another show, Unsharpened. So I'm glad you brought that up. But let me make a very sharp point to you. He will average a triple-double, but it's just not going to be as robust as you're used to seeing. If you looked at that scoring rate, it's been going down, but he still maintained that triple-double sort of average. I think he can still do that for the Lakers, but we're looking at 11s and 11s across the board. Yeah. We're not looking at like 25 and 10 and 12. That's just not what it's going to be in this offense. And furthermore, if he's scoring 25 points a game,
hit me with a furthermore?
I absolutely did, RJ. This is why I'm wearing a pencil and glasses at the same time. So listen, if he's averaging 25 points a game, I don't think the Lakers are that good at that point. That's not what you want contribution-wise from him in terms of usage rate, in terms of the amount of shots he's going to have to put up to get there. Do I think he can average a triple-double? Yes, but it's going to be a streamlined joint, not necessarily the big, robust one that we're used to seeing.
And this is no disrespect to Russ, one of the great players, not only of this generation, but of every generation ever. He is not going to even come remotely close, because you know LeBron James and his 25, 7 and 7. Anthony Davis is talking about, I want to win Defensive Player of the Year. You know what that means you got to do? You got to rebound. Right. You got Rondo out there that's going to be dishing. Bron's trying to dish. So it's just the sheer opportunity. But if Russ decides that I want to average 18, 7 and 7, that is going to be the best version. If this Lakers team is completely healthy, I think that's the best version of Russ.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, 18 is a lot for me. I think we're looking at closer to a 10 to 15 range in terms of what you're trying to do.
Russ ain't averaging 10.
What? Yeah. That's just me. I mean, the assists and the rebounds matter.
All right. Well, big thanks to you, Clinton Yates, for joining me. Long time on the Nets. Jason Kidd, thanks for joining us, Jay.
Should have gave him a bonus. You should have gave him some of your bread because he helped you out.
Really?
Perk, you can be my agent. You can be my agent. I appreciate that. RJ, thanks for having me.
We have the same agent, J-Kid. I don't know what you're talking about. But last month, you were in Slovenia with Luka as he signed a $207 million, 207 extension. What did you think about the trip? How was Slovenia? How was just kind of that meeting moment with everyone there?
It was it's a beautiful country. I had a lot of fun. And spending time at dinner with Luka and also at the press conference. What an incredible 22-year-old. He's wise before his years. And so I'm just excited to have the opportunity to coach him.
Hey, Coach, look, we watched Luka this summer, right, tab the Olympics. What were your reactions watching him put up those numbers and basically carry their team on his shoulders? They didn't get the job done, but they did a hell of a job. They exceeded expectations.
Well, on the world stage, I think Luka has strived. I mean, he's not as scared of the moment. This summer it was incredible leading his country to the Olympics to qualify first, where people didn't think that was going to take place, and then to have the opportunity to medal, was unbelievable. And unfortunately, I think he just ran out a little gas there at the end, but he did everything. And I thought his team rose to the occasion too, where he made those guys look incredibly good. But they also, I thought, again, he wasn't scared of the moment. He steps up every time there's something new that he faces. And again, I thought this summer he had an incredible trip to the Olympics.
All right, Jay, you're taking over a Mavs team that has lost in the first round 2 years in a row to the Clippers in the playoffs. What is the key to getting this Mavs team over that hump and in the next step?
Well, I think we all will know, being past players, you got to be healthy. The matchup, playing your best basketball, going into the playoffs, understanding your stars are going to be stars. You're going to need someone to step up off the bench, that X factor who's going to knock down that timely shot or get that timely rebound. And so those are the things that we'll talk about all year and hopefully, have that opportunity to participate in the playoffs.
Hey, Coach, listen. I have something, but before I ask you this, I got to get mine out the way, right? I want you to tell us something about Richard that we don't know, but I'm going to get mine out the way because, I heard from one of his good friends that he loved to drink White Claws. Most of us out here in the world drink Hennessy, Ciroc, 1942, but Richard loves to drink White Claws like, he's a 19-year-old woman in a sorority. So I want you to give us something about Richard Jefferson that the world don't know about Richard Jefferson. Give us the New Jersey Nets J Kid, not Coach Kid. Give us one of those moments.
Let's see. I don't know if there's anything I could top. I don't think there was White Claw out back then. I think he was drinking Hennessy. But no, I think RJ is a model citizen, a great teammate. He made me look good. So there's nothing really bad that I can say about RJ.
Look, Perk is so disappointed. And look, Perk is not lying. I 100% drink White Claws. Hey, look, it's just when you live so close to the beach, you don't want to be drinking Hennessy. You want something when that sun and that ocean air is hitting you. We'll talk more about that. But look, Slovenia wasn't the only place you visited, J-Kid. You were in Latvia to meet Kristaps Porzingis. What were your takeaways from that visit with him in Latvia?
It was incredible. Again, another beautiful place. I got to hang out with KP. We had a couple dinners. I got to see him work out, but I also got to just see him on his turf, right? I think a lot of times we don't get to see our Europeans, their homes. And so I got the opportunity to go over there and hang out, and we had a great time. KP is incredible, not just a basketball player, but a person. And we all know, I just learned that he loves the fights, the boxing matches and stuff like that. And so you look at just learning something new about a person by going to their hometown was something that I was excited about doing, and I had a great time.
Hey, Coach, I see you just recently added one of my favorite guys, Jared Dudley, to your coaching staff. You got a whole new coaching staff. tell me what your expectations for them and what you expect them to bring to the table this season, as far as with your team and your roster with the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, when you talk about the staff, we got a unique staff. When you talk about Igor, he's been a head coach in this league, also a longtime assistant. So I'm very excited to have the opportunity. I consider him a genius when you talk basketball. When you talk about Jared Dudley, just finished playing the game. He kind of reminds me of myself a little bit, going from straight retiring to becoming a coach. Very smart, basketball IQ, funny. I think he's going to keep things light, but he understands what it takes to be successful in this league. You talk about Christy Tolliver, who's still playing and playing at a high level. We're very lucky to have her on our staff. Again, someone who understands the game, knows how to get guys better. And so I'm very lucky to have this staff and very excited to be able to work with them.
See, it's so funny, the different approaches. You and Jared Dudley think that you're smart getting straight into coaching, and me and Perk are like, that sounds like an awful idea. We're going to go straight to broadcasting. But look, throughout the summer, Jay, you've tweeted congratulations to several young women on your Jason Kidd Select basketball program. A lot of them have received college scholarships. What excites you most about this program that you created?
Yeah, this is our first year, and things went extremely well, a lot better than I thought. The young man who's running, Armando, has done an incredible job. And so these young ladies, again, we're just trying to give them the opportunity to showcase their talent, to further their education. And a lot of them have received scholarships. And so my job is to make sure everyone gets a scholarship at some point.